Hi Saurav, hi Nivedita. Okay. All right. So let's just wait for a minute and see if more people joins before we start the topic on discussion on self-obsession. Let's just wait for a minute. Thank you, Saurav. So what's the time right now? The time is 10:32. So we shall start our discussion in 2 minutes. Let's see if more people joins. Hello all, thank you for joining. We're just waiting for more participants to join and we shall start the discussion in a minute. Thank you for joining everyone. Let me see who all do we have. Arundhati D is joined. Thank you. Namrata, Nivedita. Where is Saurav gone? The one who has given or requested for the topic for the day. So I think we can start. It's 10:34, I guess. Yeah. All right. I think we can start our discussion, and you might have seen the poster today, which is self-obsession. So, before I start saying anything, today is not healing through stories or anything as such. So, it is purely from a psychological aspect and experiential aspect of self-obsession. And I've dealt with self-obsessed people in my life. Hi Shrestha, thank you for joining. So, coming to self-obsession, so Saurav, you were the one who requested for this topic, self-obsession. So could you let us know what is self-obsession for you? What do you mean by self-obsession? If you could let us know, yeah, because you requested for the topic. Doing multitasking, officer cash plus life. Okay, while doing multitasking, can you please also explain why self-obsession? You said that we can discuss on self-obsession, which is an extremely interesting and ironic topic for me as of now, but we will discuss that, and I would like to know that what is self-obsession for you, Saurav, and for that matter, what does self-obsession means to all the people who are connected to me right now via the live. So what does self-obsession means to you? Let's see what people answers, because I will it's more of a very interactive session. It's going to be a very interactive session. This is something which we either have been told that we are self-obsessed, or we have been or we tell that you are self-obsessed. So I'm just trying to understand what is your concept of self-obsession. I want to understand that first before we move on with the topic. Any one of you can answer. If Saurav is busy multitasking, Shrestha, Namrata, Arundhati, Nivedita, I don't know who else is watching me live right now. Can any one of you throw light on what is self-obsession? Anyone? I have always been termed as self-obsessed because I am mostly concerned about myself and what works for me. Okay. Alright. Any other response? Saurav? Where did you run away? Alright. So, my next question to you, Nivedita, would then be, what is self-love? Acha. Saurav has responded. Self-obsession for me is like an ideology about me and myself only, and possessing a very restrictive point of view for others. Okay. So, what is self-love? What is self-love for you then? Both of you responded, what is self-obsession, that you have been termed, or whatever is your ideology. So, what is self-love for you then? I would like to know. Like, how do you distinguish between self-love and self-obsession? What is the line of distinction? I'm going to wait. I think there is a lag in which I speak and the way you see the video. So, what is this thin line of difference between self-obsession and self-love? What is this thin line of difference? Self-love for me is doing things that I like, something that makes me happy. Okay. Saurav? Would you like to answer self-love as well, because you have answered self-obsession? Because anyways, I'm going to talk and it's going to be interactive. It's not one way session today. Self-love is diametrically opposite thing. Okay. Which is where you have a very open view about others and still respect yourself. Is that what you're saying? So see, what we're trying to understand is, because self-obsession is a hyped term, people use it often, and when people are doing self-love, they think they are self-obsessed, or people think they are self-obsessed, and when they are self-obsessed, they just think that they just have self-love. So it is extremely important that there is a clear demarcation between self-obsession and self-love. Self-obsession, point blank, is a disease. Okay, it's a disorder, and I'm going to talk about that disorder. It's very important because I understand that not many people join in the live, but I do see that many people watch the live at a later time. So it is very important for me to give out the right kind of information. This is something which is very, 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 very common. Self-love is when you achieve inner bliss by doing something which your heart believes to be true. That's a beautiful definition, Saurav. So, self-obsession is, there was a movie of Jim Carrey that I myself and Irene, or something like that. Self-obsession is all about you, and you are so obsessed with what you want, whatever is your ideology, whatever your likes and dislikes are, that you have an absolute insensitivity towards other people's emotions. You just you are concerned about yourself, okay, nobody else. Shrestha is saying, self-love is all about taking care of myself mentally, physically, and everything. I think I'm not self-obsessed, so I don't know much about that. Right. Self-obsessed is not a very great thing to be, Shrestha, too. Self-obsession is a disorder, and so self-obsessed is a obsession is as if you have seen the poster. It is like, a very as if you have blinkers. You are like a horse. You can't see anything around you. You can see only if it is meant to benefit you in some way or the other. Otherwise, the person who is self-obsessed, they are actually very opportunist. First of all, they would need people, they will use people, they will try to create, and they like to gather attention around them, preoccupied with oneself, something irrational. Absolutely, Arundhati, self-obsession is extremely preoccupied with oneself, something absolute irrational beliefs. So for example, they self-obsessed people are very bad at taking or owning up to their actions. They are just obsessed with themselves, and they are living inside a bubble. They have a bubble around you. They have a false world, make believe world around them, and they stay in that world. If you fit into the world according to their terms and conditions, that's where self-obsessed people will allow you to enter their world, but at any point of time they can throw you out of their world as and when your need or their needs are met. Self-love is not that. Self-love, it means that somebody who loves themselves for what they are, with whatever flaws they have, and yet they will also make the other person learn how to love themselves, and they have so much of love within them that the person on the other hand automatically feels driven towards that person, and they try to understand how they can also fall in love with themselves. They are completely two diametrically opposite thing, as Saurav beautifully said. Yes, they are diametrically opposite, although their word, both of the phrases starts with self. It's very, 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 very different. Taking care of what you want, taking care of your needs is good, but to what extent? Am I also, while I'm doing that, am I stepping on someone? Am I stepping on someone else's happiness? For example, I'm constantly being obsessed about, I am this, I am that, I have these things, I have these problems, always talking about self and self. And self-love, people who have good self-love, they will not do that. They will take care of them, but they can also take care of their people. It's very important. And that is one difference. And as I was saying, self-obsession is a disorder. It's the highest form of self-obsession is called narcissism. Now people use narcissism or people say that you are a narcissist. A lot of people call me narcissist. I don't know why. But they don't understand the difference between there are symptoms of narcissism. They will actually be very manipulative. They will use people. They will use them when they need. They will throw them out of their life when they do not need them anymore. So this manipulation continues in a self-obsession. Narcissism is cluster B personality disorder. And when I say personality disorder, that means what? It is something. What is personality disorder? Something which is not acceptable according to the norms and rules of the society. Now, even if I take out the societal aspects of it, it is very, very important to understand that narcissists just understand that the world revolves around them, and that is self-obsession. I have dealt with many self-obsessed people in my life, and the fact is they don't even realize that they are self-obsessed. They feel they are the most, giving, loving, empathetic people around that you can get in the world, because they have such highly infectious and highly obnoxious thoughts about or the views about themselves. They are not able to accommodate any other people in their life. That is self-obsession. Narcissism, you can easily differentiate between a person who has self-love and who is a narcissist. So Nivedita, somebody who called you a self-obsessed person, they don't understand the difference, and it's high time that they should do some bit of research before using the term so loosely. We should not use the terms very loosely, especially in the field of mental health, because it is very easy to bog down someone by using such terms or throwing such terms, or just boxing them in a certain kind of, like, you are self-obsessed, you are narcissist, you have borderline personality disorder, you have schizotypal disorder. You cannot use this kind of terms every now and then. So you are not self-obsessed, first of all, Nivedita, because somebody who is self-obsessed or self-preoccupied, they will not have time for others. That is self-obsession. They just understand themselves, nothing else. They will come, it's like friends with convenience, and the convenience part is so high, so high, that nothing, no morality, no principles, no ethics, no rules, nothing comes in between at that point of time. And they will have excuses for that too, and they will very swiftly they will put the thing and turn the picture as if you were at fault and they were not at fault. So they will do that. They have all this capacity. Person who has self-love will not do that. Person who has self-love, they will accept their flaws, they will also accept their good things that they have. So if I know that I'm an extremely positive person, but I will also accept flaws, that I have low times in my life when I am disoriented. Because I love myself to the extent that I know that what works for me, what doesn't work for me, and what are the qualities that I have, and what are the things that still needs a lot of improvement. That is self-love. When you love someone, you would like them to grow. Self-obsession does not let you grow. It is like both are plants, but one is like a blooming plant and one is more like a cactus. So a cactus is beautiful to look at, but if you try and touch and get near them, you are going to hurt yourself. That is the difference between self-obsession and self-love. Okay. Now, why self-obsession? Thank you, Shrestha. So, why self-obsession is such a hyped topic? Because people think, lot of people, I know a very, lot of people in my life who think it is not great to love yourself, because then you become selfish. No, that's not the point. You have to love yourself. Love starts from here. If you cannot love yourself, who will you love in this world? That's the first person. You have to love yourself. You have to love the way you are, whatever features you have, whatever qualities you have. You have to love yourself with all these things. That is important in self-love. And self-obsession people, and those who actually complain about self-love, I just remember a couple of phrases. In my session, I have dealt with narcissists very recently in my life. So I have heard phrases. I'm going to quote those phrases a little bit. Then you will probably be able to understand the difference between self-obsession and self-love. So there are people who have said that, because I believe in self-love, and it took me about 7 years, 8 years to fall in love with self, because it is a huge effort. You have to accept everything that you have. Self-love means, even if people say that this is not good, you know that what works for you and this is good for you, and that's more than enough. So this person, whoever this person is, I'm not going to name that because it's confidentiality reasons. So this person thinks that anybody who has this self-love, तुम सिर्फ अपने बारे में सोचते हो, you do not think about others, and मुझे देखो, you have to get out of your past. You cannot get trapped in your past and all this blah 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 blah. Okay, now you say that, okay, fine, help me to come out of my past, help me to fall in love with self. Immediately the thing changes, because that involves a lot of work, and then the person says that you need help. So self-obsessed people have very false ideologies around them. They have I, me, myself. These are three people in this world. If you can fit into either I or either me or either myself, then you stay here. Else, thank you, tata, bye bye. This is narcissism. Narcissist people are manipulative. Narcissist people think they are unique and they have unique abilities. Self-obsessed narcissist people have this brilliant ability to hallucinate, and they have delusions too. Well, hallucination is not bad. Hallucination can help a lot of people. It is a defense mechanism. It can actually help a lot of people. But for self-obsessed people, it is not healthy. So another example I'll give. Very recent experience. One of the self-obsessed person, they said that I was on this trip for a long time. I was on this religious trip for a long time. So, when I used to go from one place to another, people used to come and touch my feet. So I asked, why would they touch your feet? You are just a normal human being, and they would not know. No, they see Almighty, they see Shiva in me. This is the level of delusion people have about themselves, and they think they are Shiva. They think they are at that stage. That is the kind of obsession these people have about themselves. So, and that God exists within you, that's fine, but you really do not need to take it to that level. They take everything they magnify, they just kind of magnify everything, whether it's them, whether it's their ability, whether it's their health, whether it's the medical issues, whether it's their principles, any damn thing in the world, they will simply magnify, and they will keep on magnifying this till to the extent that you feel so damn uncomfortable and feel bad about yourself. You really feel your self-esteem is gone somewhere, and you start questioning yourself. That is the capacity of a self-obsessed person, but that is not what a person who has self-love will do. So, any questions so far, anyone? I'm just trying to make this thing very clear that self-obsession and self-love are two different things, and it's high time people understand that. Those who think they self-love, they know what is self-love is, and those who think they are doing self-love but they are actually self-obsessed, they need to understand it's a disorder. It's not healthy. It is cluster B personality disorder. This is called narcissism, and narcissism needs treatment. Basically, quote unquote, you need help is the word. Okay, all right. So Saurav, you have any question? Is there any reason you wanted me to do this topic? Because I can say for keep going, a lot resonates. Yes, I know. So it resonates with me as well, Nivedita. So sort of any particular reason why you wanted me to talk about this particular topic? Because I can talk throughout the day about self-obsession and self-love. It is very, very different. Self-love makes you very empathetic. Self-obsession makes you very selfish. Very selfish. Or selfish is actually not the word. Self-centered is the word. Obsession, any kind of obsession is actually not healthy, and self-obsession definitely is not healthy. Self-love makes you explore a lot of things. Self-love makes you very liberal. Many people confuse their obsession with self-love. Absolutely. And I think we all have encountered at least one such person in our life by now. They think they have self-love, but they have self-obsession. And it is very, after a certain point of time, a person who has self-love, for example, I will give my example because I know I love myself a lot. So, although I get a little disoriented at times, but I love myself a lot. So, you will feel very comfortable with somebody who has self-love. You will always feel very attracted, kind of, it's like a magnet which pulls you towards the person. And that person who has self-love, they will actually tell you to love everything that you have within you, everything that you have. So even if, I'll just give one example. I have this one person who is I will not disclose the identity, but this person had great self-love towards themselves. But then one day, he figured out that his sexual preference is not what is accepted by the society, the regular society. Let me say he was a gay. And his self-love just vanished. He just felt that, he is not, he will not be accepted by the society and all those thought process that usually comes because of the social conditioning. Because it's one of those very, very prominent disorders among people. I have witnessed so many of them, so I believe you can help those people. Can I? I think God can help them. Because the moment you realize your self-obsession, I can help at that point. Those who do not even realize that they are self-obsessed, you cannot help them. You just cannot help them. Narcissism is very difficult to treat, very, very difficult, and perhaps nobody knows that better than me. So I was just saying something. So he kind of, this person who suddenly who discovered his sexual preference, he kind of, you know, started hating himself. He was so full of life, and suddenly he started hating himself, and he came and he wanted me to rectify his sexual preference. So that was the thing. And the first thing I asked is that, so what is why do you hate yourself? No, because I love people living in an illusion cannot be treated. Yes, it's not only an illusion, it's a delusion as well. So I asked the person, so why are you hating yourself? Just because you are, instead of loving a girl, you are loving a man? Is that the reason? No, I will not be accepted by society. Okay, so do you accept yourself? Was the next question that I asked, and there was a silence of about 10 minutes. He didn't answer. He said that I don't know. I said, what makes you feel dirty or guilty about yourself, that you do not love a girl or anything? The only fact is social conditioning. What came out is social conditioning. It is for them to realize, best way to deal with them, goodbye. Yeah, goodbye. God be with you. Yes. So this man, what I understood is, you know, your self-love is also affected by social conditioning, and it is also affected by the environment or the family or your friends. So a person who has good, so for example, X person is facing certain problem, and this problem is primarily because of the people around them who has made the person understand that you are good for nothing, and like you should do this, you should do that. Now suddenly this person meets someone who has extreme self-love and make the person fall in love with themselves once again, then automatically the person will get you know, kind of directed or magnetically attracted towards the person, not in any always in a romantic sense, but attracted towards a person, because that is something which is lacking in that. I always say, you not only attract those who, what you think, you also attract those people towards you, because those people lack those things which you have in yourself. So that is a law of attraction too. Self-love will do this, you know, it will help you to love yourself with all your flaws and everything. Self-obsessed people, they are not bothered. They are okay to show you or your flaws even if you don't have one. They are so obsessed that, and there is this defense mechanism that works in them. You know, I'll just talk about this defense mechanism because we have done the psychological defense mechanisms like a couple of months back. So there is this defense mechanism called projection. Now what is projection? Projection is whatever flaws they have within themselves, because they cannot accept that and it causes anxiety in them, they project those flaws on the other person and they consider that you are at fault. This is projecting your flaws into somebody else, and that is the mechanism that self-obsessed people know, because they cannot handle anxiety, they cannot handle anything which is negative in them, and whatever negativity is a little slightly negative is coming towards them, they automatically use this defense mechanism and turn the table towards you. Self-love people will not do that. They will accept if they have any fault. They will simply accept. They are okay to say sorry. Self-obsessed people, they will, even if they say sorry, there is a lot of sarcasm in it, like they will not mean it. These are some major differences, and trust me, this is one topic very lately where I didn't have to do my homework or didn't have to go through all of them, because I've dealt with so many in my life, and very recently also I have dealt with that. I'm talking from my experience. I have dealt with so many patients who are self-obsessed. I'm talking from that experience. The world, I will say that we are just, someone once said that I have crooked legs because I love my legs and my calf muscles. I didn't mention that to the person. They have a crooked eye. They have crooked eyes, Nivedita. Just ignore. So, I don't know. I mean, what needs to be said. People will shame you. People will find out your flaws on things that you like the most about yourself, because that is exactly how they are going to step on you. Stepping on someone is one major characteristic of self-obsessed people, because that is how they are going to protect their identity. It is very important that we understand that. Self-obsession is not healthy, not at all healthy. So, you know, I was saying something when her text came and I forgot that part. So whenever I remember, I'll talk about it again. So self-obsession is, it's a disease. I always say it's a disease, and it is, self-love makes you fall in love with yourself. But if you stay with a self-obsessed person, you will start hating yourself, or you will start hating the person. But there is very negative feeling about the person, you know. So it is very important that you need to understand that what is this thin line of demarcation between self-love and self-obsession. Self-obsession is a personality disorder, and now you might think that, am I doing self-love or do I have self-obsession? Now you would only be able to understand if you are more accommodating, if you are empathetic. For them, people are ladders. Yes. So then you have self-love, because self-love people, they will help you to fall in love with every aspect of yourself. Body shaming is a strict no in self-love, or any kind of shaming for that matter. People shame on 3 or 4 areas, you know: body, sexual preference, food habits, language, whether you are able to speak in English or not, your character. These are the 5 major things in people will shame you. And also there is another aspect that people try to shame another person, that is chastity, character. Now people think that, you know, only it is very important to understand, although this is not related to this topic, but I think it's very important to address this point here itself. The point is, physical urge in any relationship is a very natural process. It's only in India that it is always under the wraps. It is very natural. It is something which is bound to happen. We have been given that hormone since birth. That is the only consciousness that is there in us since birth. The rest of the consciousness are nurtured as we grow up. So in India, specifically in India, there is an entire thought process that this urge should only be in men and not in women. And that's an absolute, absolutely incorrect and irrational belief, because this hormone is present in similar quantity in both men and women. Yes. So this hormone is present in the similar quantity in both men and women. Women keep it under the wraps, and the reason is because they will be questioned. And some women who adore their sexuality, who adore whatever they do, they they are being questioned. But I would say that is a part of self-love. Whatever you have, whatever features you have, whatever principles you have, whatever ethics you have, everything you have to accept. If it's not working, work on them to change it. But don't shy away from what you have, because if you shy away or if you ignore, you will never know how your self-love suddenly turned into a self-obsession. Because every self-obsession starts with self-love. Self-love is the first stage, and it is only one thin line, and suddenly it turns into 180 degree, and it becomes self-obsession. So it is very, very important that you really need to understand that you have to accept whatever feelings you have within yourself. You have to accept how you feel about someone. You have to accept that this is how I'm going to look for the rest of my life. It is okay not to be hourglass figure. It is okay not to be a mother. It is okay not to get married. It is okay to stay with parents. It is okay to move out for your better career, and everything comes under self-love. Do not question your choices and your character and your ability based on certain group of people who kind of tries to point finger at you so that they can maintain their identity, because they have self-obsession. You don't have that. Do not let anybody do that. There is a limit. It is a simple example. I will give you a gift wrapped properly, shiny, birthday wrappings. I'll give you that. You don't take it. What happens to that? The gift stays with me. It's similar for that. There will be you कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे, लोगों का काम है कहना, and this log, you at certain point of time you have to manage the kind of people you want in your life. And I certainly believe that although it hurts, but there are reasons why God removes, if there is God or Almighty or cosmic power or whatever you believe in, they remove people from our life because they have heard conversations which we have not, and they want us to maintain our sanity and our sanctity for the rest of our life, because we have miles to go before we sleep. They probably are still in their world of illusion and delusion, and you do not need to be there anymore. It will hurt to let go of people, it will, but at the end, after a few months, you will feel that a lot lighter, because those clutters, your life just got decluttered. So that is self-obsession and self-love. And what's the time? I think, I've been speaking for a long time. As I said, that this is something which I can speak for hours. But if you have any question, anyone, I see a lot of people had joined later. Maybe you can see this when you rewind it, and you can see this, and you will understand that, this is something which needs to be talked about. Self-obsession, self-love. You need to understand that every self-obsession starts with self-love, but then suddenly when it becomes narcissism, you would not know that. So you need to understand when it is becoming narcissism, when people are moving away from you, when you are losing out that positivity in your life, when you are losing out that warmth in your life, when you feel a little left out, when you see that there is too much of discord in your life, but you feel too great about yourself, that's when the self-love has turned into a self-obsession. Okay, any questions, anyone? And I really wanted to do this topic, and thank you, Saurav, for asking me to do on this topic, because I would not have unless somebody would have told me. But I think this is something which needed discussion. So thank you for suggesting this topic, and I hope that I have been able to clarify what is self-obsession and what is self-love. Beautifully spoken tips. Thank you, Saurav. Any other questions that our audience might have for me? Because that is I wanted to give you in crisp, awesome topic. Thank you, Nivedita. I wanted to give a very crisp overview of both. Loved it. Thank you. Thank you. Any questions do we have? Any questions? I would be happy to answer them, because I still have about 5 minutes to complete the live. If you have any questions, you can ask. Yeah, the one thing that I forgot to mention is what is the best way to deal with self-obsessed people? Let me ask, what is the best way to deal with self-obsessed people? What can you do? Let's say you have tried everything. You have just tried everything, but obsession अलग ही level पे है. So what would you do? Inspiration comes from you. Thank you, Saurav. What would you do with self-obsessed people? Because I'm sure you have at least met one self-obsessed person in your life by now. So what would you do with those people? If those people are not aware of them, Tata, bye bye, see you never. Yes. When you know that you can't do anything to make this person realize, just let it go. There is something that hashtag let it go, and there is also this another hashtag which says let shit go. And it is important that you need to let go of anything that is not serving you anymore, because it is very important to leave the table when love is no longer served. It's very important. Okay, so at this note, I think we can finish our live, and thank you for being this interactive. Let them live their own delusional world. Yeah, okay. Maybe they can just form a web series on that. I don't know what they're going to do. But yes, if you know any self-obsessed people in your life, try to help them to a certain extent. And if you know that you are not able to help them, just leave them. Don't, if you can, leave them. And if it's their family or very close person, try to work it out or take professional help because it's a disorder, as I say, cluster B personality disorder, narcissism, according to DSM-5 and ICD-2. DSM is the the American Board of Diagnosis, and ICD is World Health Organization. So when I'm talking data. I'm not talking my experience, which is there. My experience is there, but data too. Okay. So remember, when love is no longer served, leave the table and maintain your sanctity, because self-love is important, self-obsession is not. At this note, I'm going to finish the live session, and I'm going to see you on Saturday live on Instagram with Saurav on a beautiful topic, and that would be revealed very shortly. Thank you everyone. Love yourself, but never be obsessed. Take care.